Hi, Paul here. Today I'm going to be doing a shave video, but first I'm going to respond to a call out from Tiffany Pisarczyk regarding the top 5 shaving questions. So I'll get started with that, and then I'm going to do my shave of the day when I'm done. So the first question is, what shaving tips would you give to beginners? Well, I guess what I would give to beginners is enjoy the time, take your time, and set some time aside to enjoy your shave. I found that the shave is, I look forward to it, probably one of the most relaxing parts of my day, and allows me to kind of clear my mind of all the clutter and just focus on something as simple as shaving and just enjoying the whole process. I would just say just enjoy the whole process, set some time aside, pamper yourself. Since I got into wet shaving, it's turned a mundane task into something that's actually kind of enjoyable and I look forward to. Number 2, what shaver have you misjudged? Man, that's a tough one. I don't know that I can say that I misjudged anybody shaving wise, but I would say one thing. I got into this social media aspect of shaving through videos of a guy named Tim Miller. And Tim Miller, I'm sure a lot of you guys know his videos. He did a bunch of videos, and he hasn't done any recently, but his videos were great. They weren't so much about necessarily reviewing shaving gear and talking about what's the best soap and stuff like that. It was more like a little window into his life. It was like you were touching bases with a friend, and that was kind of a special thing that he had. And I guess what I misjudged about him is how much influence he really had on the boom of the wet shaving community in social media. I mean, because of his videos, he's the reason that I got into Facebook, some of the Facebook shaving groups, and I think that was the case for a lot of people. So anyways, that's my answer to that question. Number 2, what is my wet shaving regrets? I guess my only regret is just, I like to try a lot of stuff, and I've accumulated a lot of different things, and my only regret is that, I don't oftentimes, just use a product from beginning to end. I rotate products in and out, and I don't just say stick with one soap or 1 or 2 brushes and just use them for an extended period of time. And I think I've sort of missed out a little bit on getting to know the ins and outs and aspects of different products, and that would be my only regret. What was my very first razor setup? My very first razor setup was a straight razor setup from Straight Razor Designs. It was a Dovo Black Star straight razor with one of their leather strops with the woven linen second side, and it came with a brush. It was a Simpson brush. I can't remember which one it was, but it was a pure badger brush. It was small, and I didn't like that brush. It was very prickly, and I didn't really enjoy it that much. And the soap that I got was a Straight Razor Designs patchouli soap. And I think my first aftershave I got was just some, aqua velva blue that I had picked up at at Safeway or one of the grocery stores here in town. I actually started out straight razor shaving. I had gotten a straight razor shave at one of the barber shops here in town and really enjoyed that. And for a long time said, I want to learn how to do that. And I started watching videos of Geo Fatboy and Lynn Abrams doing straight razor shaves, and I just took the plunge and dove right into straight razor shaving. I actually didn't discover DE shaving until later on. I had actually went and purchased a DE razor to take on a trip with me, and the first time I used it, I got one of the best shaves I'd ever gotten in my life, and I was pretty much hooked at that point. So next one, what is your most prized shaving possession? Well, that's pretty easy for me, and it may be a little bit of a surprise to you guys and gals out there. As any of you people know that are involved in the Facebook groups, I'm passionate about shaving brushes. I love shaving brushes. I have a pretty good collection of them. But my most prized shaving possession is this Gillette toggle. This toggle razor was my grandfather's razor, and I know that I've told this story in another video, but I'll share it again here briefly. But this razor was my grandfather's razor. I never knew my grandfather. He passed before I was born. The story goes that he didn't really like this razor very much, and he gave it to my dad, who had it. And as a kid, my dad gave me this razor, and I used to play shave with it, with the shaving foam, Barbasol foam, and then I would shave with this without a blade in it. And it always fascinated me. I love the way it opened, and the little adjuster here. I didn't know anything about using a double-edged razor. I just knew that this was cool, and I liked it, and I had it as a kid, and I used to mess around with it all the time. And when I got into when I got into wet shaving, I used to think back about that razor. I'd say, God, that was such a cool razor. I had no idea what it was, until I saw a video from Razors Emporium. I think Matt Pisarcik did a video, or has a couple of videos on the Gillette toggle and the different variations of it. And when I saw that, I'm like, that's the razor. That's my grandfather's razor. And I said, man, I wish I had that razor. That's really cool. And I didn't realize that they were fairly rare, and they didn't make a lot of them. They're fairly uncommon. And then one day I was talking to my mom about one of my shaving videos. I said, man, you remember that razor, that Grandpa's razor that I used to play around with? I said, man, it was really a cool razor. They're really rare. I really wish I had that thing. And she said, I think that might be in the bathroom, in the medicine cabinet. So she got off the phone, went into the bathroom, and she came back. She said, yeah, I got the razor right here. I said, is it gold? Does it have like a little kind of toggle thing on the bottom? Yeah. So I said, well, you set it aside. I'd like to get that razor back. She said, okay. So I went back home for a high school reunion a couple years ago, and she gave me the razor, and I've had it ever since. And there it is. So there's my grandfather's razor, the razor I used to play with as a kid. I'm reunited with it, and it's probably my most prized shaving possession. So there you have it. Those are my top 5 shaving questions. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And just as a little bonus, I'm going to go ahead and use the toggle today in my shave. And I'm going to be using a soap from Mystic Waters called Marrakesh. This is a kind of a spicy soap that's supposed to be reminiscent of a Moroccan spice market. It is a nice spicy scented soap. And as a lot of you people know, the Mystic Waters soaps have a little bit of a reputation for being somewhat hard to lather. So, and I have to admit, over the years I've had this soap, I've had my issues with it. I've had, I get good lathers with it, I get bad lathers with it. It's got a mind of its own. But one thing that's always consistent about this soap is it's very slick, and even if you don't get the best lather, it still gives a pretty nice shave. But I'm going to go ahead and use it today, and we'll see what happens. I found recently that it seems to work best with the synthetic brushes. So I'm just going to go ahead and use, this is a Plaisance synthetic knot that is in a handle that was made by Scott Papkovic. Scott made this knot for me about a year ago, a little over a year, maybe a year and a half ago, and I really love it. I love the tulip shaped handles, and this resin was a resin I had purchased quite a while ago, and with the intent of making some brush handles myself, but I never really got around to it, and this was just sitting in the trunk of my car, and I figured I'm going to go ahead and talk to Scott and see if he can make me a brush out of that handle. And I sent it to him, and sent him the knot, sent him the resin, and he made me the brush. And I actually got to pick it up in person when I was back home last summer for my parents' 50th wedding anniversary. So that was really cool. I got to actually meet Scott in person. We had lunch, got to talk a little shaving, and he gave me this brush, or he gave me the completed brush, and that was really, really awesome. So anyways, thanks Scott for doing that for me. I love the brush, it's really great. So basically, you know, with a synthetic brush, all I did is I did soak the brush while I was taking the shower, just to warm it up a little bit, and then just kind of shook the water out of the brush, and I didn't really shake it that vigorously. I just kind of gave it a couple light shakes, and then just loaded it like I would normally load any other soap. So, whoop. So we're going to go ahead and get going here, and the lather looks pretty good. And we'll see how it goes. I have a Schick blade in this razor. This Schick blade was given to me as a sample by the guys down at Rubinoff's razor supply here in Phoenix to try out. I was in there picking up some stuff at Christmas time, some Christmas gifts and stuff, and he gave me a pack of these to try, and they've been pretty decent. They're not the absolute end-all be-all of razor blades, but they seem to work pretty good. They're pretty smooth and seem to work pretty decently for me. So, alright, here we go, pass number 2. Again, the scent of the soap is great. That's one thing. You know, the Mystic Water soaps, their scents are really outstanding. Michelle, the soap maker, really has a knack for making some nice, strongly scented soaps. And they're nice and slick. They really provide a nice surface for the razor and the blade to glide over. And I'm really not sure what's going on recently with these soaps, but they seem to be lathering a lot easier. I have been kind of experimenting with some, you know, with Badger and Boar brushes with it, and I've still gotten pretty decent lathers with all of those brushes, but it just seems to work the best with the synthetic. But I've not been taking any special precautions with it. I just basically treat it like any other soap that I would use. I'm not, you know, shaking the brush out, making it super dry like I did in my other video. I just basically give the brush a couple shakes and just load it, and whatever happens, happens. And I've been really pleased with it. I don't know if, you know, these soaps are a couple years old. I don't know if just them sitting around curing has done something and made them easier to lather, or what. But I'm not complaining. For whatever reason, they seem to be working great right now, and I'm really happy with them. So you can see it's a little dry right now, so you could just definitely just add a few sprinkles of water to it if you wanted, and just kind of loosen it up a tad bit. But you don't have to. I mean, that's just totally up to you, whatever you want to do. So, alright, last pass. So I haven't really talked about the shave of this razor yet. What I find is that the Toggle razor, to me, feels more aggressive than like the Gillette Fat Boy. It, you know, if you compare it, you know, setting per setting, it just over the whole range of settings, it just seems to be more aggressive feeling razor. And I've heard other people say have similar experience with it. I do really enjoy the shave with it. I have to admit though, I do prefer the actual shave I get from my Red Tip and my Aristocrat over the shave I get from this razor, and also even over what I get with the Fat Boy. So, but it's still a nice, comfortable shave. I enjoy it a lot, and the nostalgia of the razor is incredible. I'm really glad to have that back in my clutches, and just kind of cool to, and actually a little bit unbelievable that the thing is still around after, you know, playing with it as a little kid, that it didn't get broken or I didn't break it or whatever. But it's a miracle. It survived all those years, and it's still going strong, and you know, hopefully I can pass that on to one of my kids, or whatever. So anyways, that's a shave today in the top 5 questions, and I'm going to finish off with the Country Club Southern Oud Aftershave. This is a aftershave. It's supposed to have a scent similar to Creed's Royal Oud, and I don't have any Royal Oud handy here to compare it to, but it's pretty similar. It's not as long-lasting or as as potent as the Creed Royal Oud. Obviously, that's a eau de parfum, and it's just a aftershave. But it smells great, and got a nice kind of clean woody scent to it, and it has a little bit of menthol in it, which is nice. I think that's I always look for a little bit of menthol in my aftershave, and that one has some in there, which is really cool. So, anyways, that's the shave of the day, and I hope you enjoyed it. I know it ran a little long because of the questions, but I hope you have a good weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.